Hello, I'm Doug, and this is the Taste and Sensibility channel. And today on Fresh Cheese Review number 5, we're looking at cheese curds. So just to give a brief recap, I'm into cheese because of a whiskey and cheese tasting I went to. The woman who presented the cheese was brilliant in presenting the information. She wrote a book. There's links below to the book and to some of her videos where she explains her system of gateway cheeses. So this whole series of 20 or 25 fresh cheeses is really her mozzarella gateway in her book. So these are cheeses somewhat like mozzarella, in that they're fresh, unaged, not very intense flavors usually. Maybe salt is the worst thing you'll find in them. And they're not really aged, and they taste mostly like milk. Usually have high moisture. So that's the category. So today's entry is a little odd because it's not like those fresh cheese things. It's an infant cheddar that hasn't been aged at all. So it's the curds of cheddar cheese that haven't been assembled into a large mass or block. So let's get into the brand here. This is Ellsworth Cooperative Creamery. So this is from Ellsworth, Wisconsin. So I'm just gonna pop it open and dump out a few and start in. So I've had cheese curds before. I've been up near Wisconsin before, and it's a pretty popular thing. Cheese curds are all over the place. And packages that don't open are all over the place too. So I've got one here. There, that's a really ugly opening. But it's open. So we'll throw out a few. There. They're a little yellow, but they're not that orange. So before I start in, let me remind you to like the video or dislike, and leave a comment down below. Leave a question. Subscribe to the channel and click that bell to get notified when the new videos come out on Mondays and Thursdays. So I'm going to take one of these small pieces, they're very irregularly shaped, and pop it in my mouth and see what's in here. It's a little crumbly. It's not squeaky like they sometimes are. And it has a little hint of cheddariness. Oh, that one was much more wet. First one was dry and crumbly. That one was kind of wet. Definitely a cheddar-y character. Definitely well salted. This was on its way to being a good cheddar. Just interrupted. So the date on the package is May of 2020. I just bought this a couple weeks ago. And it could have been out on the truck or in the store for a month or two. So these are packaged to go almost a year. Not much bad would happen to it if they kept away mold spores. It's a good filter. So these are nice and pleasant, more salty than I expected. Seem to have a little more age than I expected. I've had some really squeaky young ones that were tasty, and the texture is very interesting. And Liz has a story, just has a description in her book from a New York Times food reporter saying that a really good cheese curd makes it sound like, when you bite into it, it's squeaky. It makes it sound like balloons trying to neck. So she's pretty proud of reporting that one. So most of the curds are salty and somewhat cheddary. So I don't usually put these on crackers, but I'm going to go ahead and stick one on a cracker, eat a piece with apple. That's perfect with the cracker. There's enough age, enough salt. It's just what the cracker's begging for. So that's good. Moving on to the apple pairing. The cheddary and salty nature and fat goes really well with the fruitiness and watery juice of the apple, and the crisp texture is such a contrast. That's just one of those classic pairings of cheddar and apple. The contrast holds up, and everybody keeps their character, and very nice. So this would be the kind of thing that you would sit on the couch while you're watching something, a game, a TV show, a YouTube thing, and munch on, and pretty soon, before you know it, the bag's gone. Because these are just good and addictive and small bites. So not very sophisticated, not supposed to be, and just good as a, or you could put it out on an hors d'oeuvre tray along with other things, and these would disappear. So just reporting in on cheese curds, which is one of the entries in Liz's book, and I came across it, so there it is. So be sure to like and comment and subscribe and click that bell, and watch out for the next cheese video. But that's all for now.